Me now with Neama Rahmani. He is a former federal prosecutor and the president of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Neama, this case is fascinating for so many people. The defense says the prosecution's case, though, is built entirely on speculation. But then the prosecution, they have Google searches about poison from James Craig, proof of him ordering poisonous materials, and also texts where Angela says, quote, "I feel drugged." The prosecution wants all that to be strong evidence. Is it?
Very strong evidence, Laura. Really, the prosecution here, they have a trifecta of evidence, and it starts with that internet and YouTube search history, which is very powerful. Shortly after those search poisons show up at the home of the defendant. So when you have that type of strong evidence, plus the motive, talking about an extramarital affair, financial motive in terms of life insurance. His lover was scheduled to come to his home a week and a half after the murder. So he had a short window of time to commit these murders. And it's not just the search history and that motive. We're talking about his conduct in jail after the murders, the prior bad acts, soliciting another inmate to kill the lead detective in the case, trying to suborn perjury and fabricate this story of mental health issues and suicide, to have a witness essentially say that Angela was suffering from mental illness. So I think when you add those three layers of evidence together, it's a very strong case for first-degree murder for the prosecution.
Now, obviously, he is presumed innocent. They have to carry their burden. It belongs to the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt all that you have just described. And the defense is not going to let the jury forget about that. They're implying Angela Craig had mental health issues and that this may have been a suicide. You also have doctors and nurses, though, who treated Craig, testifying that she had answered no to questions about any suicidal ideation. Will that argument then be rendered moot based on that alone?
Potentially, yes. And like you said, the defense has to attack these three key pieces of evidence. So they're going to start with the digital and forensic evidence. They're going to say that the search warrant was overbroad. The judges denied that argument already, but they are preserving it for appeal. And we're talking about searches that were conducted on a secret email at Craig's office. So they're going to say it's not reliable. Next, they have to move to that motive. And interestingly, they're really leaning into those extramarital affairs and saying that Craig is someone who has had affairs throughout the years and has been on sugar daddy sites. And I expect that they're going to present some sort of evidence of mental illness. Didn't really come out too much during opening statements as to exactly what they'll be. And with respect to that last category, we know that jailhouse informants can be unreliable. Sometimes they can lie to save themselves. So I expect them to go after the informant testimony very aggressively.
You know, the idea they're going to say as the defense, unfaithful, yes, murderer, no, you decide. But then, as you mentioned, there's the alleged plot to kill 4 other people. I mean, the prosecutors say that James Craig tried to convince a fellow inmate, as you say, to kill the lead detective who's investigating his wife's death, and another officer and 2 inmates. So how does this compound the allegations that he has killed his wife as well?
Laura, that's why it's such a difficult case to defend. And taking a step back, just jurors are going to ask themselves, if someone's going to kill themselves, are they going to poison themselves slowly so that they have to go to the hospital 3 times over the course of 10 days? Probably not. And then you have Craig's conduct in prison, writing letters, talking to inmates, trying to double down on this plot. So that's why you have the solicitation of murder charges, the suborning perjury charges. And we almost went to trial recently, and the previous defense lawyer in this case had to withdraw from the case and cited that Craig was trying to commit criminal acts and he was going to do something repugnant. So this is the type of defendant that really refuses to accept any sort of responsibility, at least according to the prosecution's theory of the case. So sometimes we have prior bad acts, but this is acts after he was arrested. So I think that's something that is going to be very problematic for the defense. It's something that they'll have a tough time explaining in this case.
I'll be following this case. Neama Rahmani, thank you so much.